It always baffles me why certain mediocre fragrances go viral, but then the ones that are really excellent, unique, compelling, really, really beautiful are still under wraps. They don't get a lot of attention, they don't get a lot of virality, but what's nice is that those fragrances are usually the ones that are even more affordable because they don't go viral, so the prices don't go up. As a result, I have curated a selection of really good, affordable Middle Eastern fragrances, and I'm excited to share them with you here today because all these perfumes have not gone viral. These are fragrances that have been kept under wraps for whatever reason, they just don't get much attention, and I want to share them with you here today because I do think it's important to showcase not only the fragrances that everyone's talking about, but also the perfumes that are a little bit more underrated because the Middle Eastern fragrance category is so broad and varied. Not every single perfume is going to be your cup of tea, but that also means you have the opportunity to find some truly amazing fragrances for a great price, and that's what this video is all about. So if this is your first time watching this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here every single weekday, Monday through Friday. Yes, that is 5 times a week. I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. I love fashion, and lately I have been using my Instagram to kind of showcase my outfits and be a little bit more active on there. So if you also love fashion and style and you want to see a little bit more of my life, you can check out my Instagram. It's under the same username as all my social media platforms. But in addition to that, if you're interested in fragrance history, I have a podcast. It's called The Fragrance Report. I launch a new episode of this podcast every single Wednesday on Spotify and YouTube. The focus of this podcast is fragrance history, but to be completely honest with you, I'm kind of shifting it. I'm expanding the aperture a little bit more to focus on beauty history, which I also find rather fascinating. So if you're interested in finding out a new podcast, you can check it out. And I also, not gonna lie, have been drowning a bit in my fragrance samples and decants. It's been a little bit overwhelming, so I've been working on cataloging my fragrance samples and decants in my fragrance collection log and expense tracker. It's a downloadable spreadsheet that's designed to help you keep track of what's in your collection, not just full bottles, also those pesky samples and decants that are often really difficult to keep track of, to the point that we often forget what we have in our collection. Well, this spreadsheet is a solution for that. It's available for you to download in my Stan store. So, like I said, I have 5 fragrances here. There's going to be a lot of variety. Some of these fragrances are more floral, some of them have patchouli, some of them are gourmand, but what ties all these fragrances in common is that they are all under $50, even though most of them are under $30, and they're all excellent options. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if these fragrances did go viral, but for now they're under wraps, so it'll be our little secret. But anyway, let's get started with the first fragrance, and I posted about this last week and a lot of you guys were curious about it, so I wanted to spotlight this in a video. This is Awaan Gold by Lattafa. This came from their Pride collection, and this is a stunning play on orange blossom, to the point that it kind of smells like a creamsicle, almost like a citrusy creamsicle or a caramelized citrus. It's really sweet, beautiful. It smells like a luscious white floral. If you like florals like that are really honeyed, sweet, luscious, like you'd find in Lantardi or My Way by Giorgio Armani, then this is going to be the fragrance for you, because it takes that kind of type of like honeyed, not indolic, but honeyed, sweet floral, and it puts it into this fragrance right here. It's an absolutely gorgeous perfume. It's beautiful. If you love florals, get this. It's stunning. So this perfume has notes of orange and bergamot at the top, a mid of orange blossom and jasmine, and then a base of musk, sandalwood, and patchouli. This is just really good. It's really good. If you are looking for a floral fragrance and you're looking for something that smells delicious, that doesn't have like that scratchiness that some floral fragrances do, just get this. It's gorgeous. So Awaan Gold by Lattafa. I also have something else. This was actually my very first Middle Eastern fragrance, or one of the very first Middle Eastern fragrances I actually ever purchased. And I remember at the time looking for this fragrance, I couldn't find any woman reviewing it. I could probably find like maybe one fragrance pro. That was it. I don't know how it is right now, but I do know that I'm probably still the person that talks about this the most. This is Hawas for her Parfums, and this is by the brand Rasasi. I find this fragrance quite fascinating because the top of the cap has like this like snake's coil, which I find interesting. But this is a beautiful fruity patchouli fragrance with like a bit of like slight spiciness. but this is mainly going to be your fruity patchouli fragrance with a white floral. And this literally launched in 2015, so it's been around forever, but again, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, which perplexes me, but this has top notes of pomegranate, apple, and grapefruit, a mid of iris, jasmine, sambac, and citruses, and then a base of praline, patchouli, and vetiver. The best way I can describe this is kind of smelling like La Vie Belle, but in my mind, La Vie Belle is, for me, a little bit too sweet. It kind of like takes the sweetness to a level that I don't find as palatable, but La Vie Belle is popular for a reason, right? Like there's like that fruity patchouli aspect to it that people really tend to love. There's that praline sweetness, but with this, it kind of like dials back on that like overt sweetness, and it focuses on the grapefruit. It focuses on the fruity notes. The iris in here is like smooth. It gives it a sense of light powderiness, and overall, like this is kind of like, if I had to be like really analytical, I would kind of like picture this being like a 2000s kind of fragrance, but it doesn't smell like dated. It just like has like that traditional, more like full-bodied designer feel to it. Like not what you get more recently now, because now I think we've like kind of like gone into like more fruity, more sparkling territory in like in the designer trends. This is a little bit more grounded. So let's actually look at the notes of La Vie Belle real quick, because I kind of want to like compare and contrast a little bit more in depth. I don't have La Vie Belle, but I've obviously smelled it. So this La Vie Belle has top notes of blackcurrant and pear, a mid of iris, jasmine, and orange blossom, and then a base of praline, vanilla, patchouli, and tonka bean. So comparing it and contrasting it to Rasasi has those additions of the apple, the grapefruit, the citruses, pomegranate, and the vetiver. So like this kind of like, this gives it, in my mind, a little bit more depth and complexity. You still have that fruity patchouli, but it's not just focused on that sweetness. It's, in my mind, way more palatable, way more versatile, and it just smells more complex. So I really love it, and it's nice and heavy too. You can get this for around $30 or even less. I'll link all the fragrances below, but this is beautiful. It's beautiful. In my mind, if you love a good fruity patchouli and you want something that's versatile, you don't want anything too sweet, this is gorgeous. So Rasasi, Hawas, Parfums. I have not tried the masculine versions from this line. The masculine versions are the ones that are a little bit more viral, but this one is the one I've tried. It's the nice orange one. I think it's rather beautiful, so definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you. This next fragrance is Abiyedh by Lattafa. I love this perfume. I adore it. I really think that if you love vanilla fragrances, if you love sweet fragrances, this is definitely one to try. However, not gonna lie, this perfume has been irritating me, and I'll tell you why. So, basically, like this is what's on the Lattafa website. Like, I'm not kidding you. I think I'm gonna take a screenshot so I can show you how insane this is. So on the fragrance notes, okay, it says one thing. It says lily of the valley, coriander, ambroxan, vanilla, and musk. Then, in the actual product information part of the website description, they go completely different, okay? They talk about aromatic notes. They talk about patchouli, saffron, vanilla, caramel, honey, gaiac wood. Like, they're talking about two different fragrances, and like, this is why I kind of get a little bit irritated, okay? Because, like, this is a brand, like, this is not Lattafa 10 years ago. This is a brand that has, like, really become successful, and if we are not keeping our website listings accurate, like, what are we doing? Like, truly. And I know I sound like a little bit peevish, but, like, I just find it, like, because usually I'll go on the brand's website, but if the brand's website is saying two different things, and I have like looked at scent pyramids in the past, and I'm like, okay, this does seem accurate to this, so like this was what I'll say. But to be quite honest with you, so kind of like getting a little bit ridiculous, so I'm gonna call them out. I'm gonna call them out, you know? That's how it is. Yeah, I don't know if you'll be... but anyway, to be completely transparent with you, okay, I'm gonna talk to you about what this smells like to me, alright? So this is like a powdery vanilla. I get like kind of like a cushiony baby powdery accord, and I get like probably a hint of caramel, but to be completely honest, this is what baby powder would smell like if it had a bit of like a syrupy vanilla to it. That's all you need to know. Ignore the notes online. We don't know what's going on with those. But to put it very simply, baby powdery vanilla. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it stays on a really long time. You can see that I really love this fragrance. It's just lovely. I do like it a lot, but talking about it kind of irritates me sometimes because of how inconsistent the notes are, but I think it's beautiful. You should get this if you love vanilla. If you love a powdery vanilla, it's gorgeous. It's so nice. And like, not gonna lie, sometimes like the vanilla and caramel trend, I know it happened for a reason. I know people really love that accord, like, or that kind of scent profile. I love it too. But this to me is just like taking that, but like making it a little bit different and a little bit more unique. Like the powderiness here is really apparent. You have to like powdery fragrances to like this, but it's just like a very cushiony kind of like warm and cozy fragrance. I really like it a lot. So, Abiyedh Poudre by Lattafa. It's gorgeous. So this next one is called Alya, and it's by the brand Wataniah. And I really like this because it's kind of like, this is going to be for the fruity patchouli lovers if you like gourmands as well. And this is, in my mind, perfect for the fall time. So this is, yeah, it's beautiful. This is very unisex. This is for those of you guys who really love your sweet, fruity fragrances, but you're okay with, like, you want like a unisex option, okay? This is not like super gourmand. This, let me explain. So this is a scent pyramid on Fragrantica, okay? We have top notes of strawberry, lychee, mandarin orange, and cassis, amid of rose, magnolia, peach, freesia. You know, okay, I just got this pop-up. On Fragrantica. I want to know why one of the biggest websites for fragrances consistently has this scam pop-up. Like, what is this? Guys, like, what is this? I'm sorry, I'm like getting pissed off in this video completely. Like, I usually try not to be, but like, the fragrance industry is testing me, not gonna lie. And now, like, my phone is like not behaving. Okay, we're gonna try another website. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's go on the brand's website. So this has top notes of lychee, strawberry, mandarin orange, and cassis, amid of rose, magnolia, peach, freesia, and Casablanca lily, and then a base of dark chocolate, patchouli, sandalwood, and ambrette. This kind of vaguely reminds me of like the dark chocolate that you'd find in something like Angel. So it has that kind of like patchouli fruitiness, okay? But it's not going to be like your chocolate that you'd find in, like, for example, Nebras. It's a kind of, yeah, fruity patchouliness. It's interesting, okay, because this fragrance to me kind of smells like a typical designer men's fragrance, like the patchouli base that you'd find in that. Like, take that, but then like add a little bit of lightness and a little bit of fruitiness to it, and you get this. And also mix it in with a bit of like Angel by Mugler. It's interesting, it's compelling. If that sounds good to you, this is definitely one to check out. I personally don't really hear much talk or conversation about this. This was like one of those perfumes that I saw online, like, people were doing Fragrantica reviews on it, and people seem to really love it. So that's why I decided to give it a try, and I really do like the way this smells. I was kind of wearing this a lot. I've like since stopped wearing it as much, but I was able to like make a baby dent. But this is not a fragrance I wear that much for me personally, because I don't typically go for this kind of patchouli. But objectively, I think this is a really compelling and interesting fragrance that, if my description sounded interesting to you, it's worth checking out for me, in my opinion, personally. So this next fragrance is this one, Ansaam Silver by Lattafa, and this is again from their Pride collection, which is supposed to include like original fragrances, even though, is that debatable? Probably. But basically, this is Ansaam Silver. It's a really beautiful fragrance. You might have already heard of Ansaam Gold. For me, in my personal opinion, okay, since gloves are coming off in this video because this has been an experience to film, I do not understand the hype between Lattafa and Ansaam Gold. I mean, okay, I guess I do, because I get how people like that kind of, I think, good girl gone bad, love don't be shy scent profile, and that kind of is mimicked in Ansaam Gold. I got like a little sample of Ansaam Gold, never wanted to wear it. This the orange blossom in there is too scratchy. I don't get the marshmallow reference whatsoever. And I actually do have a video, it might already be up. I have a video coming up on marshmallow fragrances, just breaking down the marshmallow fragrances in my collection, what I like about the trend, what I don't like about the trend, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But let's go into the notes for Ansaam Silver. So, Ansaam Silver has notes of cardamom and bergamot at the top, a mid of lavender and divana, and then a base of vanilla, amber, and patchouli. Supposedly, it's supposed to smell similar to the Most Wanted by Azzaro. I haven't smelled that one, so I can't speak to whether or not it's similar, but I will say that this kind of smells like your typical designer men's fragrances, but not in a bad way, right? Like, it just actually does smell rather interesting. I do get like the soft spiciness, I get the citruses, I get the lavender, and I get like this kind of like smooth patchouli base. It's rather lovely. I like it. It smells like a delicious, kind of masculine person. I really like this fragrance. I do wear occasionally myself, but I would really like to smell this on a guy. Like, I feel like this is just one of those fragrances that's just really compelling and interesting. So yeah, Ansaam Silver by Lattafa. It's really good. And the other thing that I like about this is that this is really beautiful, like objectively speaking. The bottle is nice and sturdy. The cap is really beautiful. You have the details on the front, and this does not give $20-$25 on Amazon. It gives luxury, it gives more high end, it gives upper crust designer, therefore making this kind of fragrance a really beautiful gift. So if you're trying to gift something to a guy in your life and you want them to genuinely have a beautiful experience, just get this fragrance. You will not regret it. It's a really beautiful experience. The box is nicely presented as well. This is one of the most giftable fragrances in my collection, and I've done like a video talking about like giftable fragrances before. I think I'm going to do another one coming up to the holidays, but there are some amazing, you know, kind of affordable fragrances that truly have beautiful gifting, like a gifting capability, if that makes any sense. Anyway, those are all the fragrances. Wow, it was such an adventure filming this video, not gonna lie. But thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I hope you found it useful and interesting. Let me know, what are the kind of like underrated fragrances that you've discovered? I'd really be curious to hear your recommendations in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching until the end of this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!